The time is exactly 10 after 8 o'clock. Welcome to News and Views on Salam Media. And we are now going to be talking with journalist and editor with the Kigezi News based in Uganda. I do hope I'm saying that correctly. And we're here to talk about the Congo's silent genocide. We understand that an unidentified man in the Democratic Republic of Congo had allegedly set himself on fire and died while holding a sign reading, "Stop the Genocide in Congo." The country has been embroiled in a civil war that has left thousands dead. Let's hear more from Goodluck Ronald, whom I have said is a journalist and editor with the Kigezi News based in Uganda. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I'm called Goodluck Musinguzi. I'm on the shores of Lake Victoria. That's where this program finds me. It's on a rainy day. Very true that I am the editor of Kigezi News. It's a region that is in Uganda, and it borders with Eastern DRC from the east, and then you have Rwanda. Actually, if you know the Virunga area, that's where we share those common mountains, and so I've had an opportunity to be in Congo in the last 10 years, when M23 was fighting for cessation or for whatever reason giving against the Congo government. Now, stopping the genocide in Congo, definitely every individual, every person that dies in an unclear circumstances is too bad for us to celebrate. We can never celebrate death, especially brought by war. Now, if I can give a small background, is that Eastern DRC has minerals, but this is a vast area that has little presence of the state and the government. And so we have had instances whereby those companies or those individuals who are doing the mining, they end up taking different territories because the state apparatus, which would say the police, the armed forces, the courts, where if I got problems, where would I get justice? All these things seem to be absent. So you find that some individual elements create their own state apparatus. They start buying arms when they're protecting their gold mines, when they are protecting these other, whatever they are doing in that place. So you find that there are so many surrounding fighting forces. And definitely in the course of that, death comes in. Now, the most prominent group that is fighting is M23, that uses a cynic acronym of saying the Tutsi who were, or the Banyamulenge, who said they were been there for years and they feel that they are not part of the DRC government. So that one becomes a problem. Now, where there are these the killings, where the death is, where the genocide, as somebody says, as for me, every other life means a lot to me, is that it is 3,600 kilometers away from Kinshasa. That's where we are talking, that where these atrocities, where they are happening, that they are quite very far away from the capital of DRC. Interestingly, in the last elections, this region never voted. So they have quite a lot to access. You have to access some of the cities like Goma by air. But if you try to use the road network is as poor, either it stops somewhere. So it's quite a difficult place. And this problem became much more pronounced in 1994. When the Rwandese Patriotic Front forces captured Kigezi. a large number of people, close to more than 2 million, or in between there, of the ethnic Hutus crossed over to eastern DRC. Now, the armed forces of Rwanda started pursuing them with all these allegations of continuing to promote the genocide agenda. And so DRC, so you can imagine a place that you wake up overnight, you have 1.5 to 2 million refugees, people who come. Now, for over almost 30 years, that place, now you have these young people, or those who were children are now big people. Now, when the Rwandan government tries to say that these problems continue, of course, when they are asked whether they support M23 or not, they deny. Now, remember the other children of the other people who left Rwanda, they have also now grown up. So it's like going to be a vicious cycle. And in that eastern DRC where you see most of the problem, most of the people actually are Rwanda speaking. So definitely it seems to be like an extension of the Rwandan culture, of the Rwandan people who have extended to the other people. And definitely it affects the natives, the Congolese natives who are there. And that becomes a complex problem that is very difficult. Some people have talked of annexation. Eastern DRC, the Chivus, north and south, could be bigger than Uganda. And so it's a very vast, but the current president, Kigezi, is campaigning on a ticket of fighting this group and defeating it once and for all. Will that happen? Will the government of Uganda, the allegations we see, will they stop supporting M23? Will the state of Congo exert itself on this vast region so that we can see police, we can see the army, we can see the judiciary, we can see some of these state apparatus, and then we can talk of a government where we have members of parliament, we have all these other elected leaders. So for me, without a state apparatus in a vast region that is twice bigger than Uganda or more than Uganda, so you can imagine us here in Uganda, if we are also struggling with our own problems, but here you have another region that is bigger than this country, but it doesn't have state apparatus, then definitely the allegations of genocide, the allegations of killing, and it's true, people are dying, so it will continue to happen.
Okay, so, all right. So, based on data that we've received by the International Organization for Migration, the DRC has the world's highest number of internally displaced persons, with 6.9 million people uprooted by conflict. And this figure was released in October 2023. But of course, as you've indicated, this is an ages-long war situation, probably spanning 20 years, if not more. And as you've also rightly indicated, that the conflict in the DRC is fueled by the competition for the rich natural resources of the region, such as gold, cobalt, which we know is used in various industries in the West. I guess globally, in fact, in various industries and technologies. So, yeah, I can't see any end in sight hearing all of these, all of these issues coming to light. How do you view it? How do people then even try to have a sense of normality in a situation like this?
Come again on the last question. How do
people even try and lead as normal a life as they possibly can?
When I was in DRC, I stayed there for 2 years. Whenever I would go there, first of all, I would not have network for my cell phone. My cell phone would be off. The type of food is more delicious in their place, but me, I would have some reservations. So you would go in areas there is no electricity, no roads. And the only institution I saw that was working was Catholic Church. It has it has parishes where the churches are. It has some elements of schools and a few services brought to the people. But when I tell you that, for example, to access the church in DRC, you need now to access another church, you have to go like 30 or 50 kilometers away. So it makes life definitely difficult. And when I was there, one of the other things I observed is that they use Ugandan money, the Ugandan shillings, to transact. As I said, they are 3,600 kilometers away from their capital, Kinshasa. And therefore, most of the goods, from liquor to these other products, the traders come to Kampala or the towns near to buy those things. And so therefore, life is very difficult. It is inhumane as the world moves faster to work on roads, work on these other essentials. That here, for example, I'm at Lake Victoria, the Ugandan government is talking about how to improve the healthcare system. But in the DRC, in the Eastern DRC, you can't talk of a healthcare system. And definitely, that's why even when we have had epidemics, I hope I'll say epidemics versus pandemics, when we have had things like Ebola and all these other things, they devastate the place because without the international doctors who come to, provide the service through ambulances and all these other things, that it would be very bad. And lastly, on this point, I can say this. In the Ituri region, which also borders the other part of Uganda called Rwenzori, when I saw the Ugandan government agreeing with the DRC to open some of the roads, tarmacking them, within my heart, I said for once that these people of Congo deserve better. That when you open up roads, tarmac roads, and you avoid, these attacks on the road, maybe people can do business, maybe life can improve. But also we know that since then, the ADF in that region has attacked, down M23 attacks, and so the progress of the roads has been not so good. And therefore, a Congolese person, and even now, as I can see, it's a cloud here. It's very cloudy and very cold here on Lake Victoria, where I am. I'm imagining this season that is in this belt, that in those rainforests, that you find children without shoes, that you find children without things covered, that when they have pneumonia and all these other things, where do they go? So life still remains unbearable in Congo. And these are people you find even that some Ugandan farmers go to work on the land out there on mutual agreement with some families. And therefore, the small advantage is that they have a shining torch on the other part of Uganda. But if it is not a child to be born in Eastern DRC, chances of them making it and competing with children in South Africa, in Uganda, Kenya, or Tanzania, it would be very difficult. And therefore, for me, I can say some of the areas, the conditions are so inhumane. I saw them, I lived them, and I never liked them. And the day I left, I'll take time to come back.
Okay, let's go for an ad break. When we come back, we'll talk some more.
Education, health, dignity, empowerment. These wishes all begin with water. Africa Muslims Agency is committed to providing clean water to the thousands who still live without this basic human right. Support us in giving the best of charities. Provide a water well for 14,800 Rand or a borehole for 49,500 Rand in Afghanistan or 55,000 Rand in Africa. Gain Thawabi Jariya and help communities to reach their full potential. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
The Ahmad School of Excellence in Lebanon provides world-class education to Syrian and Palestinian refugees and Lebanese children with a library, coding, robotics lab, special needs classroom, and more. Amman is the foundation from which a generation of underprivileged children can fight poverty and reclaim their freedom. Donate towards a child's education because every child deserves the chance of a better future. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of black seed oil being applied by my nanny. Now I'm using Tib black seed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like Tib black seed. You can find Tib black seed at all leading pharmacies or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
Our brothers and sisters in Palestine are enduring unimaginable hardships. Ashraful Aid teams are on the ground delivering crucial aid to those in need. But we can't do it alone. Palestine is suffering and they need your help. Your support can make a world of difference. Visit www.ashrafulaid.org today and donate to bring hope, relief, and healing to those who are in need.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
The time is exactly 8:28. News and views on Salam Media. Our guest is Goodluck Ronald. He's a journalist and editor with Kigezi News based in Uganda. And we're talking about Congo's silent genocide. And I've just noticed a picture on my screen that my producers put up, which would lead me to the next question. And that is the situation of young people immolating themselves. There's been several incidences where young people then douse themselves with petrol and ignite a match, and then they burst into flames. And this is done deliberately to make a very, very strong statement. But of course, the sad reality is that they don't survive this self-immolation, unfortunately. We've seen several of these videos where, you know, you'd get them, the person who does that pours the petrol and then ignites a match and bursts into flames. And even though people try to rush and assist in the most recent incident, the person shoves them away and then eventually collapsed to the ground with the flames still engulfing him, and then obviously dies. And in this instant as well, the young man, as I've indicated, has been several instances over a couple of years. The young man kept shouting. I think this was an incident in 2011, my Congo, my Congo. And then, of course, in the 2011 incidents, that young man died of burn wounds after a week in hospital. That's the one issue, Goodluck. And then the other issue is that obviously this raises the huge discussion, a global discussion at the very least, on whether a genocide is occurring in the DRC, and sadly being ignored by both Africa and the rest of the world. Your thoughts?
Definitely, it's very sad that we have had incidents where people have died beyond immeasurable, or imagining the conditions that make someone to drown themselves in petrol and put fire on their bodies as a sign of saying, I'm frustrated, I can't do anything much more, I rather take my body, I rather die, and maybe those who stay will see a better Congo. It pains me. I remember one time I covered Nirangongo, one of the volcanic mountains when it was erupting. And here magma was, or fire was coming in every part of Goma. And at the time there was Ebola, there was hunger, there was war. And so when I interviewed somebody, said, God, what's happening with us in Congo? Why do we deserve this? Even fire coming from the ground is burning us, is killing us. Remember recently we had one of the aspects where the government of Rwanda took time to open for the residents of Goma to get out of Goma, as you know, threats to their life was imminent from the earthquake. And therefore, it's a life of misery. It's a life where I think the people of Congo, all those individuals who try to, who attempt on their lives and end their lives, is that they don't see the state. And as I've told you, you can't have a state that is 3,000 kilometers away. How do you call it? How do you access resources? How do you do all this? And therefore, for me, of course, there's another sort of people who are saying Congo is so big, should be divided. I don't know whether that is the solution. I am not a politician, and I wouldn't want to go in that discussion. But Congo is very big, and therefore, without the state apparatus, governments can come and change. In South Africa, we have seen the ANC, different leaders come, but the state apparatus, the police, the army, all these other things, the judiciary, the parliament, or those arms of the arms of government, are they working? So in DRC, I can only say that me and you, if we were to be given an option to take our children to Congo, I don't think I would make that decision. And therefore, if I can't make a decision, take my child to a place, it means the situation is very bad. And
good luck. We're running out of time. Can I just get a response to my final question? And that is this situation being ignored by Africa and the rest of the world? If so, what do you believe needs to happen?
What is interesting is that when the United Nations sent their a force to protect the people, everyone thought that the world was paying attention. But I don't want to go in the merits of what has happened with the UN in Congo, to an extent that people are saying that they should leave. And therefore, with the African Union can only maybe make statements because they have shown they don't bite. And therefore, I think, yes, DRC has been abandoned. DRC, it's having entered in the East African community. The East African community created a standby force, which is not a fighting force. And I now see them going to SADC to see whether they can get a fighting force. But so a country that fights, a country without state apparatus, a country without... so for me, I think Congo has been ignored. And Congo is not ignored because of the landmass, but the people, those young people, the women, the children, the men who don't have where to run to, who every other time they're fighting, they run to Uganda or die on the way from gunmen. All that is so the world, I don't know what the world will do as they go to vote in DRC. May they vote a leader whom they know will fight for them, a leader who will put the state structures back so that from the independence, and I'm talking from independence, that these people have not seen these state structures. If you see, that's why even when the rebels come, these people just run away. And therefore, it's a fortunate incident that we are discussing in our country, on this continent. And thanks very much for giving me an opportunity. I remain Goodluck Musinguzi, editor of Kigezi News, and currently I'm speaking from you in one of the 84 islands of Lake Victoria in Uganda, bordering Uganda and Tanzania. Thank you very much.
That was Goodluck Musinguzi. He is a journalist and editor with the Kigezi News based in Uganda, bringing us that story, Congo's silent genocide. So yes, I think that the global south is definitely on fire. The time is 8:36. News and views on Salam Media. Next up, we're going to be joined by Munira Osman. She's with the Association of Muslim Accountants and Lawyers, and we're going to be talking about the peace discussion on women against violence.